You can find them on Twitter, you can find them on the gram. After listening to their podcast, you'll be sitting there like, damn, taking their teaching from one level to the next, reaching up to Canada and down to Mexico.
And so can you talk a little bit about how teachers are, like, kind of maybe how teachers use Book Creator in the classroom for their students? Like, what are some ideas, and how does it even go about, like the library and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where I always tease, and I said this in a staff meeting the other day, and everybody, you could see their faces. They were like, wait, what? And I think this is where I say, like, the worst thing about our company is our name. Because usually when you say books, that's when, like, the math and science teachers are like, peace out. We don't do books, right? We do math and science. So I think the easy one with Book Creator, teachers use it to make books with their kids. We make narratives, or we tell stories, or we make graphic novels, or things like that. But there are so many other things that you can do with Book Creator. The other thing that I'm seeing a lot of teachers right now with their students and having them make things, digital portfolios. Teachers are making libraries for every kid, and then every kid then goes into their own library and starts making a book that documents their learning throughout the school year. One of the things that I did with my kids, they would always complain to me about, like, the math textbook, or whatever. They hated it. And I was like, well, then put your money where your mouth is. Like, I mean, if you think you can do better than a multi-million-dollar math company, then do it. Like, make your own math textbook, and the kids are like, wait, okay. So, we've got kids doing that kind of stuff, making textbooks. We've got kids making, family albums. Just the other day, I mean, on a simple level, my own 3 children, I had 7 webinars, I think, back to back with like a minute between each one. And I needed something to, like, keep them busy, right? And so I just said to them, I said, grab an iPad, grab Book Creator. And I said, I want you to go around the house and take pictures of 5 things that you think are interesting. And I want you to write a sentence about each one. So my son, who's 10, had no problem, right? He could do that. So he takes pictures, writes his sentences. My middle one, 6 years old, she has a little trouble spelling, a little trouble writing sentences. So she would take the pictures, put them in a Book Creator, and then use the speech to text option, and she would just talk to the page and have it write its sentence. And then my youngest, who's 3, can't spell. She can speak, but sometimes it's a little mumbled, as she's talking, and she's still, learning. So she would take the pictures, put them into Book Creator, and then she would use the audio record button and just record her voice. So that way I could hear the voice, but maybe, the speech to text couldn't quite pick it up, but at least I know what she's saying. So, I mean, there's so many different things, solving problems, telling you how you get there, teachers with kids making social stories, how to be appropriate in certain situations. We've got global collaboration projects that we've done for years that teachers and kids are joining and telling their stories. There's so many options out there that I really love seeing all the different creativity that students and teachers come up with.
Yeah, I mean, and I just this year introduced it. I kind of heard about it and didn't really know too much about Book Creator, and then this year I was like, I'm going full on. And what I did was I gave it to my 8th graders, and I said, I want you guys to be, and I gave them choices, but Book Creator was one, to be content creators. We consume an enormous amount of content. I want you to start to put stuff out there. And it was pretty much an open project. And I have one student who, may not be the, like, top of the class, but he's writing a how-to guide for Madden 2021. And I'm looking at him, I'm saying to him, where are you getting the information? Because, like, it's so well done, so well put together. His cover's awesome. And he said, what do you mean, where am I getting it? He's like, I'm thinking about it and I'm writing it down. I'm putting it together, but it's so well organized. It's just an amazing feat for, this student who may struggle in, like, language arts. But man, you gave him the freedom, and he ran with it.
Well, and I think some of it too has to do with like the package itself. I mean, you say to a kid, if we've got 2 options, right? You're going to make a presentation, whatever that might look like, or you're going to be an author and you're going to make a book. I mean, those are two totally different conversations. Right. You say presentation, everybody's brain goes into a certain mode, right? Bullet points,
Right.
boring pictures, whatever. But when you say you're going to make a manual or you're going to make a book for somebody, it changes things. Something similar to that. We had a group of high school students that were in a media class, a graphic arts media type class, that would they wrote and designed their own children's books for other kids.
That's
and
awesome.
so, it's really cool because as you're learning all that stuff, you're making something that's actually going to benefit somebody else.
Right.
It's not just going in a trash can. It's not going to on your refrigerator or whatever. It's going to benefit kids for years to come.
Yeah, and I think that ability to share it out globally makes such a difference. When there's a global audience looking at it, it just changes your whole perspective about doing the project.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, teachers and still me, I don't even understand YouTube, right? Like, there's people out there just making billions of dollars making videos and stuff like that on YouTube. And it makes me mad because I'm like, what's my $1 billion video game?
Right.
But it doesn't even matter, like on YouTube to some degree, whether it's a good comment or a bad comment. It's a comment, and kids like the comments. Yep. And so it's the same thing with publishing a book online. It doesn't really matter who comments or what they say. You get a comment, the kids like it. If it's a good comment, then great. If it's a bad comment, normally if I'm a teacher and I say to somebody, look, this writing is not good, you need to redo it, they're like, whatever, like they're not happy about it. But if somebody from around the world says, hey, you know what, you got some information on page 7 that's not correct, they want to fix it.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just an awesome tool, and I really hope a lot of the listeners, jump onto it. I think it's easy, and honestly, like where we are with hybrid, remote, in person, whatever it is, like now is the time to try something
Thanks for listening to the Teaching Nerds podcast. Keep up with every new episode by subscribing on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, or anywhere you listen. Remember to visit teachernerds.com, and that's nerds with a Z. Follow us on Twitter @TeacherNerds and on Instagram @TeacherNerdsPodcast. And thank you for being one of the Teacher Nerds.